You're listening to the Bring the Thunder podcast, a podcast by fans for fans.
Yes, you are indeed, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Bring the Thunder podcast. I'm here with Satvir and Jack. I am your host, Joe. For tonight, OKC takes down Orlando 128-92. Like Mark Espinoza said, wire to wire in blowout fashion. Quick box score read. SGA gets his 20. 25-9 on the night, 8 of 22. Not a great night for Shea. Chet, 16-10. Pretty solid night from him. Lou Dort, very good shooting night, 18 points, 5 rebounds. Isaiah Hartenstein with the triple-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Off the bench, we had Isaiah Joe coming in with 22 of his own. Really solid game from everybody around. It was pretty much over in the first quarter. For the Magic, it was a bunch of garbage time points. Suggs led the way with 20, Boncaro with 17. But, I mean, absolute destruction from OKC tonight, Satvir. Couldn't really ask for anything more tonight, especially, seeing that we have a back-to-back tomorrow night in San Antonio, which is a big game. So to get these guys rested, breeze by game, super important tonight. Your thoughts on how it went down tonight?
I mean, the Isaiahs showed up for us. I think we've been needing, especially a really good Hartenstein game, and I've been asking for him to get more assists to, help us out. So I thought that was really important. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a really good start to this game, 10 points, 4 or 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. He was pretty much plus 27 at that point. And in one quarter, 10 points, 6 assists can kind of get you off to a hot start for himself and then also for his teammates. That's the thing that I've been pointing out. If SGA can kind of get himself going early and then leads to his teammates getting even better looks, it's just a quicker way to a blowout. And that's pretty much what we saw tonight, heading into this type of matchup. And I hope that that's something that can kind of continue for us. I thought Kenrich Williams coming in, he was fantastic for us in his early minutes. He's been balling out this season as well. So on both of their fronts, I thought that was great. And at some point, I think you guys were texting in the group chat, is he going to get to 20 points? And all you had to do was blink after that text and he got there. So
yeah, right away. It was literally right after that text. He knocked down a 3, made it 2, and then
I wasn't worried at all. He'll get there.
He was getting it no matter what it took tonight. Jack, I'll ask you, I mean, a 36-point win. Haven't seen an OKC win like this in a while. I mean, at home anyway. The last one we've really seen was when we played in Cleveland. But this felt like last year. This felt like didn't matter who was on the floor tonight. This game was over right when it started. A nice, easy, non-stressful game at home. I mean, what are your takeaways from that?
It looked like the role players had a bit of motivation today. I don't know what it was. There might be something happening around the NBA that made them lock in, but I mean, I don't know if it is the trade deadline, but they've all locked in recently, especially today having 5 crazy trades. So I'm not crediting it to that, but recently they've just been switched on. And when our role players are on, like Isaiah Joe, Casey Wallace making threes, Lou Dort, it's over. And this is the second live in a row I've said this now, that if you have Kaysen, Isaiah Joe, and Lou Dort knocking down 30%, 32% from 3, it's just over. And we blew them out today because we were knocking down 3s. And I think the other part to it is the Magic are, like, in recent memory, one of the worst 3-point shooting teams ever. And normally we get destroyed by teams making wide open 3s. So I think that helped defensively. But, I mean, 128 points doesn't happen without the offense humming. So it's clicked and it's going great.
Yeah, speaking of the shooting, I mean, we knocked down all of our 3s very early in the game for the most part. We actually only ended up making 12 as a team. Shot 34%, but early it was all clicking, just like it was in Denver. Like you said, you get those extra 3-point shots from Lou, from Kaysen, who was off tonight, but even Isaiah Joe. I mean, things could get out of hand really quickly, and that's kind of what we saw last year, right? During the year, we were a top, 3 to 5 team in 3-point percentage the whole season. So that's what kind of made those 68 wins come a lot easier last year. Shooting hasn't really been great this year, but as we continue, they're continuing to pick it up, and I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of these blowouts if that trend continues as well. Another guy, just a guy I wanted to point out who's been absolutely excellent. This is Lou Dort, 18 points a night, 4 of 5 from 3, 6 of 8 from the field. Obviously, great defense, 2 steals. Some noise yesterday, fellas. Signs with Clutch Sports. We all know about Clutch Sports and Rich Paul and those guys. Is there any nervousness? And I don't want to bring it up now because we're having a wonderful season, wonderful start to the season, and we're looking to go back-to-back NBA champions here. But is there any worries or nerves in the back of your mind saying, well, Lou's going to chase his bag. He deserves it. And is that not going to end up with OKC?
I don't know. It depends if he does chase his bag, and if he does, then fair enough. He's done more than enough for OKC, and we'll always respect him. But I would kind of hope that he would stick around and stick with his team and just maybe take a lighter contract. And although, this kind of sums up the Lou Dort experience, I think, especially with the fans, is what I've realized these last 3 seasons consistently is everyone is just flipping and flopping between whether they want to trade or keep Lou Dort. One week, I'll see a dude say, oh, we need to trade this guy. The next week, he'll be talking about how he never said to trade him. Like, people just change so quickly with Lou Dort. And I think, he's a Thunder legend at the end of the day. So he's won a championship with us, and he's done more than enough for us. So if he does feel like he wants to go and get a bag, I'll be sad, but it is what it is.
Xavier?
I will not be upset for any and all of these players chasing the bag. I'm always going to be taking the player first approach, especially with billionaires running the industry here in the NBA. And especially when you win a championship, I'm definitely advocating for guys to go ahead and get the bag. And anytime you sign with Clutch, you're obviously going to be chasing, a better payday. And that's just something that the Thunder can't provide. We have a bunch of guys looking for a lot of money, and we have a lot of guys signed to big money that's coming up on the books. And, we're going to be picking and choosing. And there's only so many times you can ask guys to take pay cuts from a perspective of like, oh, if you really want to win, you should take a pay cut. But you can also get your money and still win at a very high level. And I think that's the case for a guy like Lou Dort. I think fit-wise on the team, like he's one of the guys that's asked to do a lot on the defensive end. And with how good the defense has gotten, his role's kind of been a little bit more minimized from a defensive perspective. And I think on a team that could utilize his skill set, more heavily, I think that probably fit him a little bit better. If he's just a catch and shoot guy in the corner and just has to play defense as his kind of role, I think that fit him really well. But it makes sense. I didn't expect any of these guys to continue to take pay cuts after you win a championship. That's the time you kind of, cash in and get as much sponsorships, get as much money, because winning a ring, is such a rare thing. And once you get one, trying to go for multiple is usually more left up to guys like SGA, Jokic, and guys that are trying to build their legacy. The rest of the guys, they're just trying to set up their, generational wealth, if we're really honest. And that's where we've seen most of the NBA guys kind of head. Like I can point out a bunch of names, but most of them, they go for the money. Even past players, if you hear about them in interviews, they always say they're going to choose the money. And we just did an episode talking about the fact that what do we need from these players to play harder? They want more money. So that's usually what it comes down to.
I'd argue he has generational wealth already, but yes.
Yeah,
you always need more. And in his case, he took a lot of a discount for the talent that he is. So I wouldn't blame him at all.
We'll see what happens at the end of the season. But right now, back to tonight's game. OKC what really stamped this game tonight, and we were texting about it right away, is the 39-14 for first quarter. 14 points the Magic scored in the first quarter. Obviously, OKC has a good offensive first quarter, just under 40 there. Puts it away right away because there is a game tomorrow night, fellas, where this team's got to be ready. They got to be fresh. Obviously, they're already dealing with injuries. They don't want to drop another one to San Antonio. How important was it just to get it out of the way fast in that first quarter? Get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, like Mark Espinoza said, wire to wire. We came out, they knew they wanted to get this done and got it done. I think the execution was perfect. You could tell everything was just so well together. Like the whole team was just, in sync, and there was no weak links tonight, and nothing the Magic could expose us. It was just a perfect win, really, and exactly what you want to see going into the Spurs game, especially both these games, like with Queso hitting threes, Isaiah Joe having 22 points. That is just ideal going into the Spurs game, and hopefully this confidence carries over for the bright lights and when it actually matters, and that'll be the true test. But
absolutely, Xavier.
Yeah, I think the keys to the next game is I feel like the game plan has been for teams to let us take a lot of outside perimeter shots. And I think it's a double-edged sword. Like when it goes in, it looks fantastic like these last two games. And when it doesn't, we're left usually scratching our heads while we're taking that many, shots to the guys. And I think that's just something we're going to have to live by when you have such a good, player in the MVP SGA going towards the paint. I mean, he's just so historic to where teams are pretty much creating a wall against him, similar to what they do against Giannis. I pretty much saw like a box-and-1 situation in the previous game than this one against the Nuggets. They pretty much said, we're cutting off the, paint baskets altogether. And if you guys beat us, you beat us. And I expect the same thing from this Spurs team. And it's going to be really dependent on if we're going to continue our hot streak. I'd probably advise against it if I was the Spurs going into this game, considering how we're playing. But, it's a game-to-game type of situation when it comes to the Thunder and shot making, in my opinion, from what I've seen. So let's just see if we can hit those shots next game.
Absolutely. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Let's get to some of these comments here first to our members, of course. Bengals. SGA only had 20. He had a rough shooting night, but he got to that 20 right before the third quarter ended, and obviously didn't play the fourth.
Got to get the 20.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
What's up, Zephyr?
Good. I was going to get to this comment by Bengals mentioning Isaiah Joe's 19 points. He had a poster on Paulo, and if the NBA is going to persistently ignore our three-point contest for Isaiah Joe, they might as well put him into the dunk contest. Come on, man.
They're letting anyone in that nowadays. Jackson Hayes
and honestly, Isaiah Joe has had a crazy poster the previous couple of years, and he kind of just pulls one out. He's a super athletic guy. Like even when he goes to the basket and takes drives, he's elevating at such a level where it's really hard to kind of, get him off balance and, get him away from his shot. And so he's actually a way better player than people think in terms of he's not just the 3-point specialist. Like he's good enough to go to the basket. He has some ball handling abilities. And so I'm not surprised by him getting 19. We just have so many guys that are stashed away. And that poster was super nasty.
And the best part is he had 22 points, not 19. So even more.
He went for 22.
You blink and you miss it.
Oos would have double pump dunk tonight too. I think Michael Cage gave him a 9 out of 10 on that one.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know about a 9, but there was a few more. We could talk about this really quick before we get into the Jack segment here, because we were talking about the Cleveland game earlier. For me personally, I have no idea. I have no clue. I mean, if you're Cleveland, you're getting an older guy who still has some left in the tank, but you're getting rid of a younger guard who has a lot more potential to grow. Harden's got only a couple of years left here. And you're also giving away a pick. didn't make sense to me at all. So I wish I could give you more, but I have no idea why Cleveland would make that deal.
I can tell you why. It's a win now move. It's really hard to keep guys in small markets, i.e., Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell. Like, you get these superstar talents, and to appease them, you kind of do what they tell you to do. And he didn't want the running mate of Darius. Also, he's been super inconsistent, super unhealthy. And something that James brings to the table is he's always on the court. And you know at least what you're going to get from him from the regular season perspective. So I do see them rising up the rankings. And as a second or third option, I mean, James Harden's honestly a great option. We've seen him as a third option before when he was on the Brooklyn Nets, and he performed at a really high level. He's super efficient. You don't really need to rely on him in fourth quarters in that situation. So I think this is the perfect move for Cleveland. They probably enter my top 3 in contenders out there in the East, because the East is super weak, and I could probably see them taking out, the Knicks or Celtics or Pistons at this point. I'd take my bets with Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I think the one thing we haven't mentioned is how the trade impacts OKC, and obviously we have the Clippers pick, and I guess this is more of a futuristic move for the Clippers. I mean, I like it for them. Having Darius Garland is great. He's going to be good, but it feels like a bit of a step backwards as to where they are right now. And I think that pick, like at the start of the year, it was very valuable. Now it's not so much, and I think it's going to give us a top 10 pick or top 5 even. Especially they were like one Kawhi injury away from that being a top 3 pick, and that's quite a common injury. So
yeah, I understand.
Exciting.
I understand it's a win now move for Cleveland. Personally, Savvy, I'm going to have to disagree. I think now this is, in my recent memory here, probably the worst backcourt defensively of all time that I've ever seen between Harden and Donovan Mitchell. They are going to get scored on like no other I've ever seen in my life.
LeBron and Reeves, maybe? Not LeBron. Luka
and Reeves is up there too. But the one thing Luka has is size. Cleveland, Harden's old and slow, never was a good defender. Donovan Mitchell's small and has never been a good defender. You can rely on your guys in the paint.
That's what they're relying on. I think that's a great strategy, and that's where a lot of teams are heading with these elite offensive guards. And like I was mentioning before, it doesn't take much to win out East. And if you have a good back line, and we're seeing this out West as well, there's teams loading up on their front courts like the Utah Jazz just did, and they're betting on their front court depth. Even our team has that same, pretty much idea of, we're blessed with a great perimeter defense, and that's why we win more games than everyone else. But if you look at the West and the Eastern Conference, the Boston Celtics just traded for a center. Like, front lines are where people are trying to stack up their rosters, because they're noticing you can put 2 centers out there and have your third small forward also be a pseudo power forward. So this is kind of where the new age of the NBA is coming into, where you have smaller guards that are high scoring and you have big front lines, and every team is adapting to it. And because that's the case, I'm sure, that kind of only benefits us. The bigger the players, the easier it is for us to defend them, because they're a lot slower. But, that's just where it is. So
yeah, we're gonna move on from that. Agree to disagree. I just can't see it. And one last statement for me, actually, and then we'll move on. It's a win now move, I guess, but I personally don't think that puts them over the top anywhere, even in the Eastern Conference. I just think they're gonna get scored on at a terrible rate. We saw what OKC did to them already. In Cleveland. Now you throw a worse defender in James Harden's old ass. It gets you James Harden for a year, and then right when they lose in the playoffs this year, they're going to scratch and rebuild everything. So I don't like the move at all. Here we go. Okay, we'll get to more comments. Oh, here, we'll get to this one, Bengals too, actually, now that it is like pretty much trade deadline season. I want to start this one off again. the first thing I could say is Memphis is doing a wonderful job. At some point, you got to say this group had its chance. You got to move on. It's tough to move on, but when you could get 3 first-round picks for Jaren Jackson Jr., that's a great trade. I mind you that Luka got traded last year, and they got 1 first-round pick. 3 for Jaren Jackson. Unbelievable trade for Memphis. They now have 13 first-round picks in their stash that they can use to do whatever with. Kind of doing what OKC did. If they get rid of Ja, and I know the price is dropping a little bit, they'll set themselves up to have a chance to rebuild, is what I'll say.
Yeah, and I think this also helps them move on from Ja as well. They've already got 3 first-round picks, so you can kind of settle letting Ja go for a little less. But I've been interrupted here. Indy Sports fan with the gifted membership. Thank you, Indy. Good to see you back, man. If you got gifted that membership, say hi. I want to see who our new member is.
Say what up.
Where was I? Yeah. It makes it easier to move on from Ja because you already got 3 firsts is pretty decent, and I love this trade for the Grizzlies. I don't mind it for the Jazz, as in interrupted again. Another
Indy Sports fan on a roll.
Thank you very much, Indy.
Welcome back to the stream. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm sure that you've just been partying your ass off after that Indiana championship. I've been looking for you. There's been a lot of topics that involved your name over the stream, and I think you've missed out. But welcome back, and I appreciate you gifting the 2. Go ahead, Jack.
Let's go.
Back to it. Yeah, I like it. I like the idea of Jaren Jackson Jr., Lauri Markkanen, and Walker Kessler as a front court, because then Jaren Jackson Jr. is rebounding, doesn't become a problem anymore, but giving up 3 first-round picks, and I don't know what they're doing. They're not in a position to compete, yet they're trying to compete. And this is another trade that if they go not all in, but if they play Jaren Jackson Jr. this year, there's a good chance that top 8 protected Jazz pick becomes ours. And that's Sam Presti has his hands in everything. You see these trades and then boom, suddenly we're favored to have a top 10 pick again. So shout out to Sam. But yeah, a weird trade for sure. Definitely unexpected.
If I'm going to make a prediction, the Jazz aren't going to be playing too much of JJJ, or at least definitely not going into second halves. I already saw early reporting. They understand their pick situation, unlike the Clippers. So I think the Clippers have already kind of waved the white towel there. And I'm not going to expect too much of Kawhi Leonard to, end off the season as well. I'm sure he wants to take a rest on his body and just kind of re-up for the next season. So we're in a good spot. We're hedging our bets all over the place. So
yeah, that's a good line right there. That was a good line right there, actually. All right, let's get to everyone's favorite segment of the night. We'll get back to some of this talk right after. Jack, what the are you wearing, bro?
What the is Jack wearing?
If you are new to the stream, Jack wears an Oklahoma City Thunder jersey on every live show after every game. We don't know it. You guys don't know it. Drop your guesses on which player jersey he is wearing. Satvir, I'll let you go first. Indy is already at it with Isaiah Joe.
All right. Last jersey he wore was... Gosh, I already lost who he wore the last jersey of. Oh, man. I'm trying to remember the colors.
I believe his last one was Queso.
Queso.
All right. Queso, and then, man, I got to look. And
I wouldn't look into what I've worn too much because there's no pattern there, I would say.
I'm not going for that. I just want to make a little bit of an educated guess here. You know what? I know who I'm going with, and I'm going with Lou Dort.
Lou Dort. Big time shout out there. Bengals is locked in on Isaiah Joe. From what I remember, the black jerseys, Jack has a Shea black jersey, I believe. I believe he has a Dub black jersey too. I don't really remember ever seeing an Isaiah Joe jersey, but Jack gets jerseys like every other day at this point, so I'm not really trying to like stick my stuff. I mean, it makes a lot of sense for it to be Isaiah Joe. Is it gonna be Isaiah Joe tonight? I feel like tonight's just like he threw one on. I don't think he's gonna give Isaiah Joe like big respect for just popping off because everyone popped off tonight, right? I'm just gonna go with SGA.
All right. One comment I will make is that since I threw that Jang jersey out and you guys were so shocked, I think it's really been messing with you. I can confirm someone has it right. And that someone is Mark Espinoza for the 5th time in a row. Isaiah Hartenstein, triple-double. Well done, Mark. He's onto it. But
you know what?
Yeah.
I honestly didn't even think.
First career triple-double. I had to. Follows me on
didn't even
Instagram, so shout out Isaiah Hartenstein.
Mark, you got to text me or something while we're doing this because I'm just way off tonight. Damn, that's gonna ruin my whole night. All right, we'll get back to some of this trade talk. Sapper, you brought up. Actually, I don't even want to talk about that one. Yeah, let's. You know what? Because it involves OKC a little bit. Celtics trading Anthony Simons for Vucevic, and there was probably a couple other things in that trade. The Bulls now have Simons. They have Kobe White. They have Josh Giddey. They have Ayo.
I love where you're going with this, Joe. You're getting me excited out here. Come on, let's go.
So there's a few guys on that guard list. They even have Mike Conley right now, who's my goodness, Bengals! Shout out to Bengals! Another gifted Bring the Thunder podcast membership.
Let's go,
Bengals! You're the man. Whoever's getting these memberships, hop in the chat, say what's up. But shout out to Bengals, man. Appreciate you.
We got 3 new members. So someone in the chat just got blessed.
What I was getting to is there's a ton of guards on Chicago, and they're looking to offload a few of them. We've talked about the idea of Desomnu. We've talked about the idea of Kobe White. Sabir, I'll start with you. Is there any chance you could see OKC making a phone call for one of these guards?
Absolutely. Inside information here.
Wait, hold on. I am so happy this happened. I talked about it. Leone, I talked about you after our stream off camera, meaning to get Leone a membership. I am so happy Leone is now a part of the Bring the Thunder podcast membership group, the community. Welcome to the community, Leone. Long time coming.
Yeah.
Awesome times here.
And I was going to mention, since we're on the topic, the people that got the new memberships, please check out our trade specials. We've put out over 6 videos at this point on, all sorts of different trades and options and just fun discussions in terms of membership videos. So it's probably a good time to head over to the YouTube playlist for the members and just binge through that while you have the membership. Why not? And see if you like that type of content. It's definitely different. It's also long lasting. Like, it's not just specific to the current times. We try to do fun stuff over there, similar to the episodes. So I thought it's at least worth chatting out since there's 3 new members and they can check that out. Getting back to the trades and options here. Fun fact, Sam Presti has someone that works in, I would say, the Wizards organization and the Bulls organization that he specifically likes to hit up during trade times or kind of IOU favor type situations. And I don't know if I try to pick up on who we do business with and kind of keep track of that. And one of the teams is the Chicago Bulls, and they are shopping their elite guard over there, Kobe White, who's just not a good fit for them because he's a smaller guard, but he's a microwave type of shooter. And this is exactly what Joe has been trying to push for. And he's kind of convinced me onto the train as well. So I would love to go ahead and get Kobe White. He's been rumored in the trade mill for a little whiles now, but it's starting to heat up in terms of his name. His name was thrown out there by several different analysts this morning. So he's definitely on the chopping block. It's just kind of what their asking price is if we're able to meet that. But I think we're one of the more likely contenders to get either him. Io is in that boat as well, but not so much. Also, additional information, because I kept up with the NBA, if you guys can't tell, the veteran that they got over there with Mike Conley is also supposed to get bought out. And he's another great candidate for us to pick up, because we will be actually opening up a roster space here soon with Chris Youngblood, if he plays 3 more games with us in the regular season. That actually opens up a spot for us to pick up an additional player, and Mike Conley would be a great addition for a contending team like ours. Also, the Rockets are probably going to be looking out for his services, because they need a serviceable guard as well. He, probably look to, land with either of those 2 teams. So if we don't land, a Kobe or an Io, I think Mike Conley would be in play. Any other buyout candidates as well, but that's just good info for starters, I guess.
Can we sign Mike Conley on a 2-way?
Well, I don't think it'd be from a 2-way situation, but we'd have that roster spot open up, because once the 2-way is pretty much gone, or we can convert one of our other players possibly to a 2-way that is on the roster. So, I mean, because we need to have a 2-way player there. So
let's talk about this comment real quick, because Conley is a good fallback option. I think we mentioned him a few times in a couple of our members' videos, maybe it was even off camera. It's getting so many trade talks that we've been talking about a lot. But Bengals wants to know, what would the trade look like? And Bengals, for me personally, I'm not even sure what the Bulls want. The Bulls are so all over the place, especially last year and this year. They had a core of DeRozan, Vucevic, Levine, and Lonzo Ball, and when Lonzo Ball was healthy, and ended up getting rid of all of them via trade and didn't get 1 first-round pick back. White, I think right now is worth a first-round pick and maybe a player, but what do you guys think?
I'm not on this.
Could I throw out? Good. I was going to throw out a potential package for Kobe White, and you guys can let me know what we should add or subtract here. I would say we could do Kenrich Williams, a 2027 second-round pick, maybe a 2028 second-round pick, and maybe 1 additional young player in there. Do you guys think that's enough? Because Kobe White's value isn't too high, because everyone knows he kind of wants out. The Bulls want out from him, his contract situation. So I was thinking Kenrich, a young guy, 2 seconds. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know why we wouldn't just give up a first, but we got so many.
I mean, we also have a lot of seconds as well. So
I'm with Leone and Bengals here. Kenny's not the guy to move. We got to keep him on the team. Yeah. He's so valuable to Chet Holmgren personally first, and then to the team as well. I wouldn't look to move off Kenny.
Kenny's been the
well. I mean, we've got to trade. We've got to trade somebody, guys. So I mean, I know we're homers, but let's be for real. I mean, we're getting an elite backup guard here. So
but you're gonna get him for the rest. You're gonna get him for the rest of the season, and then not be able to pay him, and he's gone. So I don't really see the need to trade for Kobe White at all. But I wouldn't give up Kenrich Williams at all. I mean, Kenny's been claimed being Wemby. We've been inserting him in different lineups.
Yeah, he did.
Do I have to say that Memphis game single-handedly won that? I mean, he's been so valuable this year, and I can't even imagine the off-the-court stuff that he does, with the development of all the guys. I want Kenny to stay on this team.
Here we go. We got.
I understand the sentiment, but I think from more of a realistic space, there's only 2 or 3 guys that we were able to trade, and they're kind of the back end guys. And he's one of the names. There's a reason his name comes up. Okay, I love the guys on the Thunder, and I'm gonna take my Thunder fandom hat off and just think about, okay, who on the roster can we actually trade? So if I bring up a trade package, right, of X player and Lou Dort, or an X player Hartenstein, we can't just say, oh, we love these guys and we want them on the roster. It can't be that way, every time we're coming up with trades.
But we're trading for Kobe half the season of Kobe White. I just don't see.
Yeah, but for a championship, we're talking about a championship team that's contending, that's needing an extra playmaker. and Kobe White's an elite playmaker off the bench. So I don't get where the disconnect is. I love Kendrick. You know, I love all these guys on the team. I know how much they're valued.
I'm with Leone on this one.
Yeah, I mean, we can exchange Kendrick for Oos or Isaiah Joe or Aaron Wiggins. Those are the 4 names that are on the list of guys that would
Pause. Wait. Aaron Wiggins.
We're talking about contracts and
Isaiah Joe doesn't come up. Come on now.
He does. I did say Isaiah Joe. I said those 4 names. It's Isaiah Joe, Oos, Kendrick, Aaron Wiggins. Those are the 4 guys that are tradable contracts on the team.
Willing Joe and Oos, not willing Wiggins or Kenny. In my
Like I mean,
you guys, you know me. I'm never gonna accept trading Aaron Wiggins, but
that's fine. But that's fine. We can replace it with Oos. Would you guys do Oos 2 seconds and include maybe an additional player in there?
I'd do Oos and 2 first, bro.
I'd say yes to Oos, and the reason is Oos is pretty much gone in my opinion because we're gonna draft someone next year because we have maybe the 3rd overall picks, so we have to. And Oos is the obvious answer that's going to go. And I don't mind trading him for an expiring contract. But, I mean, I just don't like the idea of trading for someone and only having them for half the season. But I guess it'll work. But and the only way that works is then to draft someone with that free roster spot. Right. But I just – it's never really happened to this team. I don't think anyone in the rotation has been traded for. And it's –
his contract is he's on a very, very good contract. I'm actually looking it up right now. It's $36 million over 3 years. He signed it in 2023. So he's on his end of his contract. His base salary is only 12 to 13 million and it'd be ending. And we don't have to extend a guy. We can also sign and trade a guy like this. I think this is valuable for us. He's a hot commodity when it comes to sign and trade options. So it's not just a half a season type of situation. In my opinion, it's also leading to us possibly winning another championship. So whenever I look at these moves, I'm not thinking from the perspective of, we're just renting a guy to rent a guy. Like this isn't that type of scenario. We're trying to win a championship.
Yeah,
I'm confident we win a championship with or without Kobe White. I don't think he's going to make that much of a difference, to be honest.
Interesting. Well, we'll see.
We have AJ Mitchell. If AJ Mitchell's healthy, then
you are right. We do have AJ Mitchell, and you're absolutely right about that. I do want to move off of Kobe White. Indy brought up a really good trade. I think we got to break it down. He said send Chet, SGA, and Dort to Indy for a 2nd-round pick in 2031. He said he's made that trade on 2K, so it would work. Indy, I mean,
just no return at all.
I think it's a win-win, Indy here. I think it's a win-win. You know, we already got our chip. Let's just start rebuilding already, and you guys get a championship as well. Even. What do you guys think?
I think we owe it. The Indiana
you can't disagree
fans.
with Amanda, right?
Well, we also can't disagree with Indy's logic. I mean, on 2K, I'm sure they made Sam Presti's logic to get more additional picks at all costs. So it makes sense.
Absolutely. I did see Austin. Austin, what up, bro? He said someone said, he said that he heard that it's a possibility about iHeart. I don't think that's a possibility right now. People are just talking. Listen, Giannis has 9 trade destinations that he's getting traded to tonight. So everyone's just talking out of their ass pretty much.
I love the Jack quote about possibilities. You want to repeat that line that you had on your Instagram? There's a lot of possibilities. I don't know if you remember your post about it, but
the Guatemala one.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, so guys, I could pack my bags to Guatemala and move there, but that doesn't mean it will happen. Like the Isaiah Hartenstein thing happened because there was a report that OKC were looking for a backup center. That's one report, and that was true.
I'm sorry.
And then on the other side,
be careful, man.
Hartenstein to a casual makes sense to trade him or get rid of his contract because it's too big or whatever. But that's just what the analysts were saying. But there's no correlation between that and OKC looking for a trade. So as far as we're concerned, Isaiah Hartenstein is not on the trade block. He's not going to be traded. And I mean, if anything tonight, he had a triple-double. Like he's been, I would argue confidently our 4th best player this season. And he's been so valuable, and we wouldn't have won a championship without him, and I don't think we win one this year without him. So
Yeah,
we need
absolutely.
him.
And I'd also advise Wendy on ESPN goes up there and says whatever the hell he wants. It's ESPN. Even Shams has been god awful.
No,
just don't listen to anyone.
it's just the wording is so like vague and would maybe, and
it's all
people
about the
just
speculation.
take it as 100% confirmed. And like I said, I could pack my bags to Guatemala, so not gonna happen.
Every time I hear a report that includes the Thunder and it comes from outside of the local reporters, because the only guys I really trust are the guys tapped into the Thunder. That's usually the reporting that I go based on personally. And I always think the opposite. Like if they say we're in trade talks with Hartenstein, that means we're about to re-sign this guy to a max deal. So I take it with a grain of salt.
Everything with a grain of salt. I think it's a good time to wrap up here, fellas. What about you? You got anything else tonight?
Just keep an eye out for a potential trade. But yeah.
I will say about a year ago, the Luka Doncic trade happened right after we ended our live stream. I forgot who we played that night, but we literally ended the live.
The Kings.
I remember.
Because Aaron Wiggins had 41
right.
Of course.
I remember that night, Joe.
We hopped right back on.
I think you called me maybe at like 1 a.m.
I called everybody. It was crazy. I had no idea what was going on, and clearly that's not working out great for the Lakers. But anyway, just keep your notifications on. We don't even know. Oh, Mark, you're right. Sapphire, do we have a Sapphire's Corner tonight?
We have not yet. We can do one right now if you want.
All right. Let's just run one really quick. Before we get into Sapphire's Quarter, just keep your notifications on. We don't even know what we're going to do. If it's something huge, we'll hop on live. Be ready for that at all times. But we'll update you guys on what we're planning to do with the big-time trades that come through. Just keep having our notifications on because we could be going live at any minute. But I guess, Sapphire, if you're ready.
Yes. Let's do it, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts.
Welcome to Sapphire's Quarter.
All right, guys. Y'all's second favorite segment, I have to say, Jax is my absolute favorite. So, but I got some fun stats for you guys. I think Bradley always beats me to the stats anyways. I'm going to have to scroll all the way up to the start here. We completed the 40 by 20 rule. If you're kind of newer to the NBA scene, this was created as a gauge to see what teams are truly contenders that season versus pretenders. And this rule actually follows through with a lot of the champions throughout NBA history, and we're 40-11 officially. So we have 40 wins before 20 losses, and I'm sure the Pistons and the Spurs will kind of enter this realm as well. But I'm glad we're the first to do it because that's always a good sign. We were also really close to the 40 by 10. That's something that I always look out for. That kind of puts you on another different echelon, and we're just one loss away from that one. So we're in pretty good territory there. Obviously, everyone knows this. If you don't know at this point, Isaiah Hartenstein's first career triple-double. I should have seen it coming that he got the first career triple-double, and I was going to mention it in my quarter, and Jack ended up wearing his jersey. So I totally fumbled the bag on that one. But to end this off here, also, Isaiah Hartenstein did that triple-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, only in 23 minutes. Very Russell Westbrook-esque. But the thing that I want to get to here, we're closing in on the Wilt record. SGA is 5 games away, I believe, from tying that record and 6 games away from beating the Wilt Chamberlain 20-plus point record. He's up to 20-plus points in 121 straight games. And I just keep getting more and more excited because Wilt Chamberlain records don't get beaten often. The only other guy really doing that is Jokic. And so the fact that we get to, see Jokic and SGA in the same timeline, it's not going to happen for a really long time that we'll see these types of talents in the NBA. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this season and the type of MVP race this has been, especially if SGA ends up winning this MVP. I think this will really put him into high regards.
Yeah, looking like he's going to. I mean, Denver losing again tonight. Rough times for Denver right now. There are a few comments here.
I wanted to get to this one. Okay. I saw it and I marked it in my brain. If Bradley's still out there, man, I love the comments that you put out. Really highly educated stuff. But where would you guys rank SGA all time if he repeats on this MVP and Finals MVP?
I mean, that could be a whole nother video.
Yeah, to keep it short, top 15 already.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say top 10.
Jack?
Top 10.
Top 10.
But it won't be top 10 until 10, 15 years after his retirement, because then people will have stopped hating and it'll be a consensus top 10. But
I'd probably put him top 8 if he repeats MVP, Finals MVP, because there's not many that have done it twice. He's done it already once, and then he'd be doing it twice. There's not many players that come to my mind that's done it, especially at 6'6" point guard. Point guards are rarely in the top 10. The only guy comes to mind is, kind of on the shorter end is obviously Steph Curry. So we got a lot of comments here. Top 15, top 10, SGA, top 11.5. We'll take it. We'll take it, Indy.
There's another one from Bengals here that I wanted to get to before we finish up. He had a question for us as a panel here. He said, so Jack has his jersey segment. Joe has the lock of the night segment, which didn't hit tonight. Sorry, fellas. And Satbeer has his quarter segment. Why doesn't Gabe have a segment? I guess I'll start with this one. And Indy kind of answered it already. Gabe had, we gifted him one and he screwed up. No, I'm just joking. Indy is too. To be honest, Bengals, it's honestly, it's a good point. I think Gabe does need a segment. We're going to have to figure one out. Well, that's really for Gabe to answer, though.
Yeah, we've been pushing him to make up a song and sing a song after each win, but he's not too keen on that. But if you have ideas, let us know and we'll forward them on to him, because we'd love him to have a segment for sure.
Yeah,
I think that's an answer that only Gabe has right now. 2 more, and then we're gonna end it here. This one is good. I was gonna ask Jack this earlier. Jack, do you have any idea?
I know he's like technically game to game. So basically, the stage of return that Hartenstein was before he came back, and the one thing I've realized this season is it's just so random. There's no like probable maybes. It's just yes or no, and it'll just be one of these games coming up. He'll just be back, and it's nothing major, so it's not like but hopefully soon, because we need him, because he's a very good player. But unfortunately, they're very secretive with the injuries.
Bengals here said he's also going to say that Jack's segment is the best segment. Well, thank you,
Appreciate
Bengals. When did we even create that? Was that like from the beginning of this year, or was it?
Yeah, something like that. Indy makes a good point that Gabe changes the color of his lights depending on the results. So
that is true.
You have
That's
that.
something.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get
not
Gabe.
Quite a segment though.
I think after every OKC win, we're going to have Gabe do a therapy session to start the show. Just imagine.
I love it.
Okay, we'll figure it out. But with that being said,
I wanted to answer this. I wanted to answer the question for this one. Austin mentioned, when is Dub coming back? We'll have a fully healthy team. He's going to be coming back post All-Star game. And as far as AJ Mitchell, it can be pretty much like Jack was mentioning, game to game. But I think he'll definitely be back sometime during this stretch, if I had to guess. At least hopefully a couple games before the All-Star break, just so he can get some playing time in, because I don't think it's anything too major. I also think it'll be depending on whether we're winning or losing games. So if we end up dropping any of these upcoming games, I can see him suiting up for the next one.
Austin here. Absolutely. When is All-Star? It is
February 15th.
Yeah, there you go. February 15th. We'll get 7 days off. Okay, so we'll get 7 days off. Very nice. All right, Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end here. About over 50 minutes in. Again, keep the notifications on, because if something does happen big in the NBA, we'll be here for you. But with that being said, I want to shout out Indy, shout out Bengals for the gifted subs tonight. Awesome. If you guys aren't a member already, go over to the YouTube channel and go get one. You're missing out. Austin, absolutely. Go Seahawks. I'll be rooting for you. Screw the Patriots. I'll be rooting for you this Sunday. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Pre-game, Spurs will be out early, and then we'll see you guys at the live after another OKC win. Thank you, Bengals. Appreciate it, man. Again, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn those damn post notifications on, get a membership. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Anyone else have anything else to say?
No, I think you do.
That's it. Mark, I just DM us on Instagram. I'll tell you, because I don't want to keep going. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. Love you all. Enjoy the rest of your night, even if there is one. Have a good sleep, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. And thunder up, baby! Let's go!